And welcome back to The Zone. I'm Brant.
I'm Jay.
And this is Zone 4, episode 439. And we're going to talk about some stuff. But before we do that,
Oh, yeah.
I want to mention that Chris wasn't able to join us this weekend. And he asked me specifically to tell the viewers kind of a little bit why without going into too much detail. Basically, and I know this is going to be kind of a downer, so I apologize. But Chris's dad has cancer, and he went in for an appointment yesterday and found out that it had spread and it gotten worse. So his family is dealing with that right now, and he wishes he could be here, but they're kind of dealing with this news and trying to figure things out. So hopefully he'll be back next week, but he did want me to tell everybody so that everybody would know. And he asked thoughts, prayers, all that stuff. If you haven't sent them his way, so there you go. And of course, everybody here at Frontline, we
say him as our
exactly.
thoughts and prayers,
of course, and we miss him. So know. All right. So before we get into the actual show, we should mention we are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. You can find us on comicspodcast.com each and every episode, along with a plethora of other shows. Go check us out over there. You can also follow us on social media at Zone 4 Podcast on Facebook and Twitter. And if you'd like to watch the Zone 4 Aftermath show, you can become a Patreon at patron at patreon.com/Brent Fowler and get access to that and a whole bunch of content. So we'll give you all those links at the end of the show as well. Go ahead.
Yeah, and the Aftermath is going to have some really cool stuff coming up because we're going to be leading up to something big, and we're going to be doing something exclusive over there that ties into something. So it'll be really fun, I think.
Yeah, we're looking at January, I think, for that stuff. Yeah. So be on the lookout for that. We'll be talking about it more in the upcoming weeks. It's going to involve all of Frontline and Zone 4, so you'll definitely want to tune in for all that. So I forgot to pull up my stupid app thing. I don't know why I always forget to do this. I'm not used to having to plug it in, I guess, yet. But I will get used to it eventually. If I can get to the right screen.
Well, it's still a new. I think we only done it like 6 times now. So it's like, and you've done the other one 433 times, like the other way. So
exactly.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a difference. Like they say, to get something drilled into your head, it takes 100 times to do it.
Right. Exactly. So with that, it's topic time.
Topic time. It's topic time.
Well. More or less. More on that, too. Topic time. We'll be talking about that next week.
Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday. Tuesday, I think we're starting a new series here on Comic Frontline. It really has nothing to do with Zone 4, but we're kind of using that element from it. So tune into Comic Frontline on Tuesday for a brand new series debuting here. So you heard it here first. I think you heard it here first. I don't know if anybody else talked about it or not, but you heard it from me here first.
Yeah, I haven't. I'm the only one who's done a show since then, and I haven't said a word about it. So
yeah. So look for topic time on Tuesday on Comic Frontline. All right. Enough of that, though. Our topic this week is Green Lantern issue number 1 by Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp. There's some issues that Frontliners have with this. You guys have seen reviews. Mike Spider-Slayer did a review. Chris did a review. I think there's a written review on Frontline Reviews.
Yeah, I've done it today.
Okay. So there's all kinds of reviews. What's up, Drew, Tevia, Legend, all in the comments. I know Drew had some thoughts about this as well. We'll get into that. Before we get started, though, I want to preface my thoughts on Grant Morrison. And this is tricky. I'm not a Grant Morrison fan per se. I will say that up front. So any opinions I have, you got to take it with a grain of salt and understand that. I can count on one hand and have fingers left of the stuff that I've enjoyed that he's written. And it's not that he's a bad writer. I want to squash that right now. It's not that he's a bad writer at all. It's just his style is not my taste, my preference. So just want to put that out there as a disclaimer, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll get into the things about this issue that I liked and didn't like, and the same for you. Yeah.
I just wanted to give my take on Grant Morrison as a whole. He's hit or miss with me, honestly. Yeah. Like some things I think he's brilliant with, like his just JLA was great. You know, he brought back the Big Seven. I love that. It was a great series. But then there are things like New X-Men, which I hated with the passion. We're just now fixing things that he destroyed back then.
Right.
But and again, not everything he does is great for me. Not everything he does sucks for me. But
yeah,
the last thing he done for DC, I was not pleased with, which was Action Comics. I was not pleased with that.
Yeah, I wasn't pleased with that either. What was that that mini series or maxi series that he did?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, that was the last thing he done with it. That was the Multiversity.
Yeah, Multiversity.
It was okay. It was just too much Morrison. Yeah. I think it was like too much like, here's how I see things. It was like so trippy instead of like a like, you know, it was like this, instead of telling a story about the multiverse, he used like, I think it was like these creatures, I think from the multiverse or something like that. I forget where it was right now, but yeah, it was a very trippy way to go about explaining the multiverse, where it could have been just a very clear-cut, clean way to do it. He goes the trippy way. He's sort of to Hickman's science trip. So you got Hickman with the science stuff, him with the trippy stuff, and I think Scott Snyder falls somewhere in between.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's Morrison's, like, I don't know. He's out there like he's straight out of the 60s or something. I don't know. It's like Yellow Submarine kind of stuff. Yeah. And you know, those like 60s and 70s sci-fi, you know, stuff. It's just, that's his style. It's trippy, it's acid trippy, it's crazy out there stuff. And I thought Multiversity for me started fairly strong and then just kind of faded into this like middle ground for me. So yeah, it's New X-Men. Between Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely and Peter Milligan and Michael Allred on X-Force or Static X, whatever it became, they ruined X-Men for me for years. I hated everything. And yeah, so that soured me on Morrison for a long time. I really loved his Batman and Robin run. I thought that was
that was, you know what, honestly, that was good too.
Yeah.
It was a little different. I still don't like his Professor Pig. I don't like Professor Pig as a whole.
Right.
Though. It's he created Professor Pig. I don't like him at all. But I think overall, I think he did a great job with the run by again, at the end of that, Damian was likable.
Yeah.
Or approaching likable. And then they reverted him back to being a douche again.
Yeah, exactly. So with Green Lantern, which that brings us to, we should cover like where Green Lantern left off with the last series. And I will also preface this by saying there's no clear-cut explanation as to when this current book that just came out takes place. We assume it's supposed to follow the last volume.
Well, it would have to follow the last volume.
You would think.
They are on New Oa, which debuted in the last issue.
Exactly.
And Hal Jordan was told not to return until further notice. So
exactly.
Both of those happened in the last volume of it. So we would assume, given those two things, that this does follow after that. But again, like Brant said, there is no clear distinction, but those are the only two things that we have to go on with continuity. So we had to assume that that is where it takes place.
And I only want to say that for anybody that might throw out, well, we don't know where this is taking place and what, you know, what time frame it is and stuff. And that's why I wanted to say that, because if that's your justification, Jay just gave you the two reasons why it should logically take place now.
If they say it doesn't take place now, it takes place in the past or something, then they screwed up their way.
Oh yeah, totally.
Oa was Oa up until Relic destroyed it,
right?
And then they were living on Mogo, and now it's New Oa, which was rebuilt after we found out it was rebuilt at the end of the last issue of the last volume of Green Lantern. So Hal Jordan, what was it called? Hal Jordan
and the Green Lantern Corps.
Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. Yeah, that's right. It was. So that was the last time that we saw it, and that it was. I'm sorry, the first time we saw New Oa. So anything that happens on New Oa has to happen after that book.
Yeah. I don't like the change of the topic time recording. It was better before. We didn't change it. It just started late. That's all.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's the same.
Yeah.
I promise. It was fast forwarded a little bit before it started. So anyways.
Normally it goes topic time.
Yeah, exactly. So that's not changing. It was just an accident.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties when you're trying to do it live. Anyway, so last issue, we end the book with Hal Jordan reconnecting with Carol Ferris.
Again. Which for Ferris' sake, I will say Jeff Johns ended his run with them connecting again too.
Yeah.
And Robert Venditti did not pick that up either.
Yeah.
So I just want to say before anybody says, we're not being fair and all that, we are saying that both major runs ended. Well, last two volumes ended with him getting together with Carol Ferris, and neither of the next volumes picked up with that. So we will say that also.
Yeah, to playing devil's advocate, if he goes back and explains how this relationship came, and we'll get into that too.
Which they did do for this past volume, like not Morrison's, but the Venditti and whoever did this. I forget who wrote this. Was it Venditti who wrote this again? Or no?
Yeah. What, Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps?
Yeah. I know he did some of it. I'm not sure if he did all of it.
I don't remember. I have to look.
No, I think they switched. I think
I think you're right.
To Green Lanterns, and someone else took over this. So I'm not sure who did the last issue.
If anybody knows in the comments, let us know, because we can't remember. But yeah, if they explain it away later on, that's fine. I probably won't be reading it. Drew says he did all of it. Yeah. So, and also then Drew had brought up in our Discord both this point about Carol and also about the Guardians, because there were only a certain amount of them left in the entire universe, and they like 5. Yeah, 5, because one of them had died. So there were 6, and one of them died, and they all.
I'm sorry. But there wasn't even the Guardians. They were Guardian Templars, so they looked different. Like they didn't look like regular Guardians.
That's exactly what I was about to say. So go ahead. Yeah, that's fine.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. That's we play off each other. It's cool. So I was going to say that. And so when we opened this, I believe there were 7, and they all looked the same.
Yeah. So, no Gantlet, who has definitely like a distinctive look. He has the gray hair, the balding. He's the old bald guy. With the ponytail. The hippie. He's the old bald hippie guy. He's not there. Saeed's not there. So that's 2 more who aren't there, who should be there.
Yeah.
None of the Guardian Templars are there either, because they all have distinctive looks. None of them were there. So there's at least now 13. 5 and what? How many did you say?
At least 12. 6? I think there were 7.
7? Okay. All right.
I'd have to look at it again to be sure.
All right. So we got 11 or 12 Guardians should be there now. Unless they're going to say that all of them just decided to go Klingon and shave all their head during wartime. Like, unless they went all Discovery on us and said, we're Klingons, we're going to shave our heads and shave all of our hair off our bodies, like men and women. Because that might happen. Can't say.
I would hope that we'd get some explanation going forward, just for continuity's sake, and for fans that have been following this for a while and are not just jumping into this cold, that you recognize. Maybe not like stick your entire story in that, because it's you want a new writer coming on to do his own thing, right? You want him to tell a unique story, but you want him to pay respect to what came before.
Oh yeah, you have to. And someone has said in previously about having freedom to do what they want and all that stuff.
Sure.
And continuity doesn't matter. But continuity actually does matter, because otherwise no DC and Marvel would not have continuity in their books. even though Marvel doesn't pay attention to half their continuity anyway. But you have continuity because otherwise every book is going to be like a one and done. Every issue will be a one and done. Even if you have an arc, those 6 issues have continuity within those 6 issues, you know? So even a 6-issue arc or a 2-issue arc has continuity amongst it. Unless every single issue of your book is going to be a one and done book where everything resets at the beginning of each and every book, then you have to have continuity in your book. That's just a way of writing. That's just a way of fact, you know? So, before we move on, Brent, I also want to say about the Guardians. They have changed up the Guardians before, you know, where, there are more Guardians now than there should be, blah, blah, blah. But they've always explained it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, when it was just Gantlet, we found out, you know, and it was during Kyle's run that Kyle, you know, restarted the whole thing, and he was the torchbearer, and he brought forth the new Guardians. That's why they looked up to him as such a high esteem. So, like, they've always explained where the Guardians came from, how the Guardians got there. When the Guardians were all destroyed the last volume, and then they were brought back, we were told they were brought from another. They were all locked up. They were the Templar Guardians. So we found out why they were there, why we had Guardians when only 2 Guardians should have existed, you know? So we've always been told where the Guardians came from. This one, not so much.
Yeah, at least in this issue. And that's all we have to base this on. So, you know.
So far, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get into the issue. And do you want to go full spoiler or you want to kind of skirt around it? I don't care either way.
Yeah, I say we can go full spoilers because it was Wednesday. This is Saturday. So most people have got their comics by now, and I'm sure, like, because this issue has been all over everywhere. Everybody's talking about this issue, so I'm sure they know about it. So, but here's your spoiler alert for people. We're going to be discussing this full-on spoiler, so you have been warned. All right, so let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. So, interesting story the way this one opens up. You open up on 2 Green Lanterns that I don't even know if we've seen before.
No, we have. I don't think we've seen these. I think these are new. Yeah. Or if they were seen, they were like background Green Lanterns. Like, no one of consequence.
Right, and I couldn't tell you their names, honestly. I don't remember what they were.
I can't remember either.
I know one of them gets his finger chopped off right away, and it's like floating around. Yeah,
it's like, that's my favorite finger.
Yeah,
and with the ring, which means that all his powers should have been cut off.
Right, exactly. That's what I was thinking the whole time. He still got his powers, and his ring's floating around. It made no sense. And of course, it's the middle finger floating around, just kind of flipping you off the entire issue, which just kind of bugged me too. And then you got this like micro virus of a Green Lantern.
That one we have seen before. I forget its name, but the microvirus one we have seen before. I thought you meant the one who came in after
that.
But yeah, we have seen the microvirus before. Okay. It was I think it was Venditti's first run of the Green Lantern series, like before Rebirth. So I think it was before Rebirth.
And that's fine. I personally, I thought it was a little bit too graphic with what happened with the flu and the diarrhea. And
it's never been that graphic before. It was just like a virus, you know. And we didn't see any of the side effects of that. Right. We didn't hear anything about it. We just heard that, you know, it can go in there and incapacitate people. That's all we were told.
Yeah, exactly. So it was kind of gross and nasty and just kind of in your face, this whole opening of the issue. And that's
very Morrison.
Very Morrison, very purposeful. That's just, you know, him getting your attention. And I understand that. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it. But I do understand.
Hey, every writer has their own style, and that's what he likes to go for. So
So, you know, the one ends up getting killed. And I'm trying to remember the order of events, how it happened. I'm trying to remember when they flashed to Hal on Earth. It's after he gets killed, right? The one that got his finger cut off.
Yeah, because he has to go help another lantern.
That it crash landed. Yeah.
Yeah. Did they ever show him like getting his ring on another finger or not? Because I can't remember if
No,
his ring ever went on another
his
finger.
finger was just
It's
floating
just floating
around.
right near him, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like he didn't try to like put it back together or anything like that. He just like yeah, because I was like, no, this ring's just like floating around the whole time.
Yeah, it was just floating around. It was ridiculous. It was dumb. It was like, how does he have power? He doesn't.
Because even after he leaves them, and there was the other lantern that was with them too, the one who took the three criminals away.
Yeah.
The crystalline guy, he was the one who went with the ship. He started to go on the ship there, and the other guy left. I'm trying to think of his name. I can't think of his name.
Yeah. All their names are escaping me right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, the other two were left behind. He went to go help another.
It was one
freighter.
It was one like of Tomor 2's race, right?
Yeah.
It was one. Yeah, the female.
I think she was like Trilla True or
yeah, something like that.
Trilla 2, something like that.
Yeah.
I remember it was like Trilla because I remember that because I would think of the Trill like from Star Trek. So I'm like Trill, and I think it was either 2 or True. So
yeah, they're all something like that.
Yeah.
Something Rue, something 2, something.
Yeah. That's why I can't think of it as True or 2.
Yeah,
but it's something like that.
And so after that happens, after he gets killed and all that stuff, we flash to Hal Jordan laying in an airfield, presumably Ferris Air, maybe, I don't know, could be anywhere, watching the planes from daylight to dark. And then all of a sudden there's this woman, Eve, out of nowhere, and she brings groceries, and then they make love outside. It's like, what the heck? Where did this come from?
Yeah, like butt naked right outside. Yeah. Like they went into the house to put the groceries away. Why didn't they do it in the house? Like
right, they like, let's go outside.
Let's go outside and get butt naked on this like dirt desert road, because it's like you can see it was like all rocky and stuff. So it wasn't even like smooth. It was like that rough gravel and stuff. Like they're just let's just go at it, Yeah. And
okay, Drew says she's Eve Doremus, an old girlfriend from the 60s, apparently. Okay, that's fine if that was explained in the freaking issue.
Yeah, I knew who she was, but I'm saying
I didn't, because I haven't been reading Green Lantern that long.
I know who she was, but it was the way it was done. That's
my whole problem with it.
Yeah, you didn't introduce it to anybody else. Like all it said was, "Hey, Eve." So this book simultaneously wants you to have known history, but also wants you not to know anything about it, which is not how you do it. If you want to do a history of it, where you're like, if you want to bring in a character like that from past issues and stuff like that, what you do is you say who she is, have Hal say, well, I'm so glad we reconnected over the years, blah, blah, blah. Or her saying, so glad, after our last time that we went out, I didn't think we would ever see each other again. Something like that,
exactly.
Something to establish a history between these two characters and not make her appear to be some floozy that he just met,
Yeah. See, and that goes back to my thing. If you're coming in cold, I mean, even like if you've only been reading, like Mike and I have only been reading, well, Mike's been reading a little bit longer than I have, but even if you've only been reading for like the past 15 years or something like that, you might not know who this person is. I had no clue who she was. I started reading like a little bit before Blackest Night, so I had no clue. And if you're trying to make it new reader friendly for people that are coming in cold, then you've got, just like you said, you've got to have some kind of history, some kind of explanation, not a big info dump, just something like a little mention like that, so you know that, oh, this is somebody from his past that he's reconnected with, and if you're going to get to the Carol stuff, why he's not with her later on, that's fine. I don't care. That's understandable, but give us something. Give us something to latch onto there to understand where you're going with this, because it just felt like it was elements like Drew says that he liked the old continuity from the 60s or 70s or whatever. If or the golden age.
But at the same time, though, he's also paying homage to the he's also currently following the current continuity with New Oa. So it's not like he's just going off of like, oh, this is set like right after like all right, for instance, Bryan Singer clearly made Superman Returns as a sequel to Superman 2, the Donner cut. So Bryan Singer clearly made that as that. You definitely knew where it was. It didn't pick up anything from 3 or 4 or anything else. It was all you needed to watch was 1, 2, and then this was going to be the third movie for him. Yeah. So if Morrison did that, that would be okay, because it would be, you could say, okay, this is outside continuity of what's going on right now in books. This is a different Hal Jordan, blah blah blah. You can put that aside and deal with it. But he didn't. He went on and put in New Oa, and he put in the fact that Hal Jordan was told to not come back for a while. So both of those happened in previous volume, so they were both in continuity today. So he's utilizing old continuity, which I love when they do that. Yeah. But he's not doing it to the full capacity, because he's not letting people know who don't know that continuity, hey, this is where we got. Like he did it with the Crystalline guy. He was like, yeah, we teamed up before. Right. So he threw that reference in there so we know who that Crystalline guy is. That he's not a new character. He's someone who existed before, because all his race looks exactly the same, so someone could think, oh, that's a different guy. But he pointed that out to us. So he could have done that with Eve. He could have done that with her. He chose not to.
Yeah, and like you're saying, if they had established that this was taking place back in the Golden Age or whatever, that's, and, I mean, we see him here use like a 10-ton block, which is definitely old school Green Lantern, that kind of stuff. If they'd established that and they told a story in that time period, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But the meshing together of the two without any explanation or any lead in for the reader, both new readers and people that just read that last volume, it's confusing and it's just kind of all over the place for you, and you don't know what's happening, why these changes have been made, and where it's going from here. And there was no real clues dropped in to tell us that either, I felt. So
and then you have him like having this lifestyle where he's got stupid like day jobs. Like he lost his passion for test piloting. Like Carol knows that he is a Green Lantern. She gives him Carol's not someone who doesn't know about Green Lantern, right? She's been Star Sapphire. She's been a part of everything. She knows everything. So she understands that Hal has to leave sometimes. And they've already worked through all this. He could have had that job and still done, the Green Lantern gig. But he's saying like his other job, which Eve doesn't even bother asking what his other job is, my real job. Like she doesn't even bother asking. But he's just like doing day jobs here and there and getting fired really fast. Like, and he's like,
that was weird.
He's almost like Bruce Banner walking down the desert highway. Like when I saw him, I was like, is he Bruce Banner? Is she gonna like Hulk out on me? Like, I think they got the green guys wrong here. Like, Hal Jordan's not Bruce,
Speaking of wrong, Drew brings up a point, and I'm trying to remember. He said, I'm not sure, but I don't remember Hal ever having to recharge his ring since he created his own from his own willpower, and it was the only one not infected by Cyborg Superman, so it wouldn't need repairs. Did they retcon that? Do you remember? Or
no, they didn't.
Okay, so that's still supposed to be the case. I thought the same thing when he said
it's powered by his will.
Yeah, so when he needed a battery, I was like, where did that come from?
I guess he's doing it ceremoniously, saying, I had to always do it ceremoniously because he's used to it. Yeah. But to say that it's low and all that, no, his power runs on his own will because that's part of him now. Like his willpower created that. It's not connected to the other rings at all, honestly. Yeah. It's not. It's his own creation. He created that, based it on his willpower. So that ring should never go out as long as Hal Jordan has the power, the willpower to power it.
Yeah. So again, it's Morrison ignoring various elements of continuity that were established in recent past, which it was my problem with the book. Was my main problem was the ignoring the continuity and just the weird out there Morrison stuff that I'm just not a fan of. So, and then, but we did get an interesting twist. Talk about positive points. The cliffhanger at the end, I thought was a very interesting twist where they're pulling a heart out of somebody that looks a lot like Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
And I thought that was an interesting way to go. And I'm curious, even though I don't think I'm going to continue reading this just because it didn't grab me enough, I'm still curious to hear what that part of the story, where it goes and what it entails and who exactly that is.
Yeah, because it looks like maybe a clone of Hal Jordan, because the Dark Stars are the people who are doing it. So
yeah,
for anybody who's wondering who those people are, they're Dark Stars.
Well, at least they kept that in continuity.
Yeah. You can tell by their little symbol. They had the symbol of it. And I also, how weak are the other lanterns that Hal Jordan caught those other lanterns like those villains, and like these are like the most dangerous villains in the universe. He caught them in like 3 seconds, and they had like the one guy lost a finger, and they were like all over the place. 3 lanterns couldn't take them out like at all, and then this guy Hal Jordan comes in like 3 seconds later. Like he doesn't even defeat them; they defeat themselves. Like the one guy grew so fat that his hip gave out. Like that's how you beat him. But I was like, seriously, that's how you beat the guy? Like you just wait for him to get obese and fall out. Like that was just so weird, dude.
That's another Morrison thing. Just go read New X-Men.
I mean, it was just very weird. But this new being is he looks like Hal Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also looks very robotic,
like Cyborg Superman, kind of.
Yeah, sort of like you know what he looks like? Honestly, the Black Lantern Hal Jordan.
That would be interesting.
Because he looks like a little deceased or rotting. And if you want to see him, he's also on the cover of the variant cover. That's the guy who's almost the scene is exactly what's on the cover, but you don't get to see the yellow. But
I wondered. I mean, that's a good theory. I didn't even think about that, but I honestly wondered if maybe Cyborg Superman was being transformed into Hal Jordan.
That could be it too. That could be it too. But Cyborg Superman's face this part is fake, and this part's real. This part's real. This one was this part's real and this part's all messed up. So it would be reversed for that. But it looks sort of like the zombified Black Lantern Hal Jordan, which was Hal Jordan's body when he died or whatever. They brought it back. So could they be reanimating a Black Lantern and making him a Yellow Lantern? Because he's first of all, he's being an antimatter lantern, which again, the Yellow Lantern Corps came from the antimatter universe. So he's and they said something about extract the heart from the weaponer, or get the heart from a weaponer, maybe. I don't know. But the heart is So could he be a weaponer that is being made to look like Hal Jordan? I don't know, but he definitely looks like Hal Jordan. He has Hal Jordan's hair part. He has Hal Jordan's mask, Hal Jordan's old costume, but it's a yellow. Instead of the green, it's the yellow. So it'll be interesting to see this. That part has me intrigued too, and the whole book of Oa that has me intrigued. Honestly,
it's just I don't know. It's there wasn't enough in here that interested me enough. I can point out some positive points like that, but overall, there was more that I disliked about the issue than there was that I liked, and man, I wanted to give this one a shot. I like Green Lantern, and I feel like the last run, actually probably the last two runs, were kind of hit and miss all throughout. And I wanted a really good Green Lantern story, and I just didn't feel like I got it here. Just, like I said, I'm not a fan of Morrison's psychedelic trippy stuff, and I feel like that's going to be prevalent here. I'm not a fan of ignoring some of the continuity and, just doing what you want because that's the elements of the character you like best. I don't agree with that take, but I have to admit that some of the story points are interesting.
You can choose continuity.
Right. Yeah. But some of those story points are intriguing, and they've piqued my curiosity. So I got to give them at least that for my take. What about you?
Again, I like some of the stuff that that they're working with. Like I like the mystery aspect of what's going on with the Book of Oa. Is that like from what's his name? Dr. Manhattan's doing. Is Dr. Manhattan doing it? And Drew did say some people are saying that it's the antimatter Green Lantern from the Silver Age, which again I can see them doing that, but that it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be that Green Lantern. Like the antimatter Lantern shouldn't be there. If they do, I hope they explain why he's there. But I like the mystery of the antimatter Lantern. I do like that. I like the Book of Oa mystery a lot because again, it could tie into the bigger DC universe thing that's going on with Dr. Manhattan and everything. So that's what I like about it. I like that how it's going to be more of a cop. I do like procedural shows, so I do like that aspect of it. I didn't like the lack of continuity, and I'm going to go off a story base and not even focus on Morrison for a minute. The art was not my favorite.
Thank you. Yeah, I was going to mention that.
Is a phenomenal artist. I'm going to say that.
His Wonder Woman run recently was
and,
really good.
And his Batman, Wonder Woman, Brave and the Bold one. That was phenomenal. Like he has such great, clean, clear art. And this looked very muddy and grungy and indie looking, which maybe that's what they're going for. But
it had to be the inks, though, you think?
Off. Yeah. But he does his inks, though. He does
his own ink. So he was doing a different style for this book. Interesting. I was really confused because when I saw his name on the cover, I was like, oh, well, it's, he did Wonder Woman, and that looked really good. So this should look really good. And I opened it up, and I'm like, this is not great. It's just, not that it was bad art, but it was just different than I was expecting from him.
For him, I think it's bad art from him.
I agree. Especially, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, especially Hal. And once Hal got into the book in that part forward, I thought some of the early pages were okay, but it was that psychedelic stuff. So maybe it was just different. But once it got to Hal and the Guardians and everything, it was just, like you said, muddy and gritty and just odd. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he does his own inking. The only thing that gets done on his art is the coloring. So I don't know. I was not a fan of it. I was like, because I looked back, I was like, wait, is this their same Sharp? Like, I honestly looked at it because I was like, is this Liam Sharp and not like Dave Sharp or, Judy Sharp or some other Sharp that's in the industry? So I was like, I looked back at the credits and I was like, yeah, Liam Sharp. This does not look like his artwork, Like it. Maybe they're going for that grungy indie style look for it, but I think I missed that fine, perfect looking art. Like what he did was beautiful in Wonder Woman and in Batman and Brave and the Bold Batman and Wonder Woman. Yeah, beautiful for both of those books. And here I'm like, I nominated him last year for Artist of the Year.
Yeah, I remember.
He was so freaking talented in Wonder Woman and Brave and the Bold. But this one, I'm like, ooh. No, again, not bad art, just not used to this change of his style. Like, he has a very refinement. Like, he has a very nice, almost like storybook-esque. Yeah. But with a lot of detail in it. He has a lot of detail. It's like beautiful pages. It's like looking at it's like looking at a book of paintings.
Yeah.
Each and every one. You know, like
Right.
each and every page, it looks like a book of paintings that you would see like a Renaissance painting or something. Like very detailed, very nice, very bold. And this just looks, again, very grungy looking. And I was just like, whoa. Like it
Yeah.
just threw me off on it.
I think what they were going for, I mean, if you look at the logo redesign and the psychedelic stuff and everything and the way space is drawn and all that stuff, I think they're going for a very like 60s, 70s sci-fi horror kind of bent with it. And maybe he was trying to like alter his style to do that. But like Drew was pointing out, even the cover, like his torso and was like contorted weird and his head was bigger than his body and all this stuff.
I was thinking maybe it's a different Sharp, you know, like because I remember it was supposed to be Liam Sharp, and then when I saw that, I'm like, that doesn't look like his cover. Maybe someone else did the cover, you know, because other people do covers, you know. Just because you're the artist of the book doesn't mean you do the main cover. Sometimes the artist does the variant cover, not the primary cover, you know, not the standard cover. So I was like, okay, maybe that's not. I didn't even pay attention to that when I that didn't even hit me that, you know, that was Liam Sharp's art.
Yeah.
Then when I looked in there and I saw the pages, and as I'm going by and I got to the credits, I'm like, this is art, dude. Like weird. Like it's like if Alex Ross did like cartoony work,
right?
You'd be like, whoa, that's not Alex. You know, like not saying it's bad art, but just saying that it's such a big difference from his art. I was like, ooh. And honestly, this is kind of art I'm not a fan of because I don't like the grungy look. I like the clean, crisp, detailed look. That's my preference. I know some people like that kind. Like Cat likes a different art than I do. Mike likes different art than I do. They like their Brant likes different art than I do most of the time, you know. But me, I'm a very big fan of crisp, clean, detailed art. And this was not that. And I was just thrown off by it because of who he is and the excellence that he brought in his first two showings.
Right. No, I think different art styles have a place, but when you're doing a superhero book, I definitely prefer a cleaner style than that. So yeah, between the psychedelic Morrison stuff and the continuity problems and the sketchy art, I don't know. It didn't grab me. I'm not like, oh my god, this is the worst thing I've ever read. I'm not at that level. And
no, it wasn't even the worst Green Lantern story I've ever read.
No,
like Venditti did some bad stuff in the New 52. I think that was worse than this. So honestly, just saying for me personally, it's not as bad as some of the Venditti stuff that he did in his early stuff when he first started working on Green Lantern back in the New 52 DCU era.
Yeah. What's up, MT? All right, I'm gonna look through some comments and see if we have any questions or comments or stuff. Drew said earlier, Morrison's Action Comics is the only other thing I've read from him. I liked issues 1 through 5, but then he started the whole timeline stuff and multiverse stuff, and I just couldn't follow it anymore. I understand.
I didn't like 1 through 5 either.
Yeah,
I didn't like when Superman held the guy over the building and threatened to drop him. I was like, no. Yeah. I was like, that's not my Superman. I'm only going to buy it out of loyalty for Superman because I can never drop a Superman book. But honestly, I did not read it until I started coming on the show on Frontline. And I read all my back issues, like, because I stopped reading it. And I picked up my back issues. I read it so I can be current with them. But, I probably would not have read them until the whole, I think he did 18 issues. After the 18 issues were done, and then I probably would have picked it up. He did like 17 or 18 issues of that. But nah, I was not a fan of that at all. I was like, I did not like it. I did not like where he went with Superman. He made him, I know he went back to the original Superman who was like punching people in the face and all that, but this was not Superman to me, and I didn't like it.
Yeah. Tevi also added, Morrison Action Comics was really, really stupid and made Superman wear a stupid t-shirt and jeans.
I didn't mind that. Like, him wearing a t-shirt and jeans, I don't mind that. Like, we all know this. He changes his costume sometimes, and we all know it always comes back to the same exact costume. So, for that, I don't really care. You know, that doesn't hurt me as much as the characterization of him did. Yeah. So, costume he can wear just underwears outside with the cape wrapped around his, like a towel wrapped around him with the bobby pin, with a safety pin in it, and I'd be okay with that. I don't care. It's just a look, you know.
Yeah.
As long as the character is good, and his character sucked.
Yeah. Drew said Hal and Carol equals Clark Lois or Barry Iris. Just let them be already.
I would disagree on a point to that.
Go ahead. Yeah.
To me, they're more like I can't remember the guy's name, but Maddie and something from Moonlight. What are their names? Bruce Willis and
yeah,
and her
from Moonlighting. Yeah, Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis.
Yeah, Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis. Like they're the will they won't they get together couple.
Ross and Rachel. They're Ross and Rachel. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the kind of couple that I see them as, because like. They should always wind up back together. They should always be building up to this thing. When they break up, because that's just the nature of their relationship. Where Barry and Iris have always been together, Lois and Clark always been together. So those are always like the thing. Where I see them as their thing is that they are great together, but then they screw it up. And then they got to get back together. Then they screw it up. Then they get back together. It's the on again, off again, will they, won't they type thing, which, we already know by Jeff Johns' run that they eventually wind up being married and have children together. So
yeah, I agree with you completely on that. Let's see. It's all about Venditti. SM Down finally watched Death of Superman. Thought it was great. I have still not watched it yet.
MT has a question. Well, a statement. He says, so far I enjoyed the issue. It's probably the most straightforward thing I've read from Grant Morrison. From Morrison.
Really? I think his Batman and Robin stuff was the most straightforward stuff I've read.
I think his Justice League was, and then his Batman and Robin stuff.
Yeah.
So.
I don't remember if I read his Justice League run or not. I may not have read his Justice League.
It was in the 90s.
Okay, yeah, I probably didn't then. I wasn't really
reading the 90s. Then. It was right. Like the first arc was right before Superman lost his costume and became Superman Blue. So it was like the second arc was him in the blue costume. So he was the electric blue Boogaloo Superman. So that's where it's at in the 90s. It's like 92, 93-ish somewhere.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely not then. The only DC stuff I read in the 90s, I mean, I read all the Death of Superman, Reign of Superman, and all that stuff, and I read Flash here and there. I didn't read a whole lot of DC. So I probably missed that whole thing. I know I never read his Animal Man, and I probably won't ever read his Animal Man.
Yeah, I don't think that's your thing, honestly.
Yeah.
Because you don't like Animal Man as a, you never got into Animal Man in the New 52, right. And Morrison is a trippier version of that, so I don't think that's your thing.
No, not at all.
Just based off of your taste, I don't think that would be your thing, because Morrison is trippy and you don't like that stuff, and then you didn't like what was going on with Animal Man, and just imagine that with the trippy Morrison stuff, and that
would be awful. That'd be like the worst thing ever for me.
All you need is All Red's art on there, and then that would be
that would kill it.
That would be like, don't come near me.
Yeah, we won't get into All Red. I already took a dig at him once this show. I got other thoughts on All Red. Never mind. I won't get into that.
That's a whole other show.
Yeah, I'm going to get myself in trouble. Question, Jay and Brant. This is from Tevia. Why does Morrison and Bendis not give a dang about continuity? And what happened to Action Comics and Superman under Bendis? It's awful. We talk about this every single week with you, Tevia. As far as Morrison and Bendis not paying attention to continuity, well, I mean, this episode's about Morrison, so all we can speak to is that for now. And yeah, we've already talked about that, so I don't know why.
Honestly, so far, I don't think Bendis has ignored continuity at all.
I agree. That's why I didn't really want to go there.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't really done anything that contradicted continuity, because I'm the first one to call that continuity. I mean, my nickname is Continuity J. I got that nickname for a reason. I call out continuity errors. I call it out right on the show. I do it all the time. I'm like, that didn't happen. This happened here and that didn't happen here. I'm the first person to call that out. And I don't think Bendis has really ignored continuity. He doesn't. Terry, I think what your problem with Bendis is he doesn't write it what you want him to write.
Yeah,
like you want John to be there and it'd be Peter J. Tomasi and Dane Jurgens again, and it's not that.
It's the same.
There's a difference.
Yeah, Chris is the same way. It's not the Superman that Chris wants written either, so he has problems with it as well. But I don't think it's a bad Superman.
Yeah, it's not a continuity issue at all. I don't think it's continuity at all. And again, if you're talking about where this takes place in relation to Heroes in Crisis, we already told you that's before it. It's either before it or after it, but it's definitely not doing Heroes in Crisis. So
Drew said, if Morrison doesn't want to use the other Human Lanterns, then I can deal with that, but he ignores Kilowog, Arisia, and other alien regulars. That this just doesn't feel like a main continuity book. I will play devil's advocate again with that. It's only the first issue. We don't know that they're not around.
No, he's not. He's not.
Oh, he's not using them at all. Okay, he's
not using any familiar Green Lanterns, at least none that we've seen recently. He's like, I'm going to go back. He's like, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I agree. If he's not going to use Kilowog and, characters like that, then I have a problem with it too. But go ahead.
Well, I'm okay with him doing that because he wants to bring in other, because the Green Lanterns, 72,000 lanterns? So he's going to be using new lanterns and lanterns we haven't seen in a while. And that's what he wants to bring in. So
that's
fine. I'm fine with that, but, so I'm okay if he doesn't use Kilowog. I'm okay with that. I'm okay if he doesn't use John Stewart and blah, 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 blah. I'm okay with him not using them because there are 72,000 other lanterns that he can use, So I'm okay with that aspect of it. I don't really have a problem with it as much as some people do. I do like those characters. I do like the lanterns. I love Kilowog and all of them. But if he's doing original characters, please don't touch Aya. I know I want Aya in the comic book so bad, but I don't want Morrison to be the one to introduce Aya. And I'm not sure, Brandon, you watched the Green Lantern anime series, but
no,
brilliant series. I loved it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember which one that one is. I may have seen an episode or two.
The computer generated Tim style one.
Okay. Yeah, I probably saw a couple episodes.
Yeah, it came out right around the same time Young Justice did. They aired at the same time.
Yeah.
But Aya was in there, and she was a phenomenal character. I want her to come into it. She definitely belongs in the comic books, but please, Morrison, do not touch her. Don't touch her. She'll be some kind of incestuous, sex fiend.
It's not Eric Larson writing this book now.
Grant, do you not know what Grant Morrison wanted to do with Fantastic Four? He wanted to have Johnny and Sue have an incestuous relationship. He said that they've always had this underlying sexual tension between them. That was his pitch for it. He wanted to explore that aspect because he says it's always been there. Their closeness is too close.
That's like saying Iceman's always been gay. No, it's just some writer wanted to make him, so they did.
And you can find out my thoughts on Iceman over on Frontline Reviews, and I'm going to definitely talk about it on Tuesday. Trust me, I got lots to say about that.
All right. Tevia says, hold the phone. How can a virus become a Green Lantern? Well, I actually read something about that. They had some kind of microbe ring for him or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they if you look at the near the end of the book, the end of this issue, there's different life forms in the universe. Not everything is humanoid. And the great thing about the Green Lanterns is that it shows you that there are beings out there that aren't humanoid. Not everything looks like it's something from Earth, and this is just we classify as a virus. It's not an actual virus. It's just the beings look like a virus and act like a virus, so we classify it as a virus. It's a sentient virus, essentially. But they have rings for everything. How does Mogo have a ring?
Right.
You
Exactly.
know, he does. They adapt their ring technology for the species. So,
Let's see.
MT says he was probably either high or joking. It was in an interview, and that was his pitch for a Fantastic Four book.
Isn't
So
Morrison always high?
yeah,
I mean,
and I
isn't
don't
that the
care.
thing?
Yeah, and I don't care what his condition was. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. I don't want that in an alternate universe. I don't want any part of that. Like, no, they're brother and sister, and to say anything like, because he said there was always sexual tension between them.
That's
I've never
ridiculous.
seen that.
No,
I've
never.
never seen sexual tension between them. I've seen brother and sister
That-
relationship where they annoy each other.
Yeah.
That's it.
God forbid a male and a female have affection for each other and it not be sexual.
Yeah, I'm tired of like everybody saying like, oh, they have sexual tension because they're the opposite sex, or now even in comic books they're the same sex. There's sexual tension there.
Yeah.
You know, it's like no, like two girls can be friends and have a sleepover and not have we want to explore our sexuality. No, they're just two girls having a sleepover.
To that point, and since we mentioned Iceman, and I wasn't going to talk about this on air at all, but last week's Extermination 4, there was a scene in it that really just got me. And it kind of ties to that because both Shatterstar and Iceman are gay, right? So Shatterstar is hurt, and Cannonball is carrying him in. And so Iceman is just like, hey, do you need some help carrying Shatterstar in? I'm right here. I can help you, man. And it's like, why is he so eager to carry Shatterstar, the other gay guy in the room? Come on.
Yeah.
Don't force stuff like that.
It's only about being gay right now. Like, honestly, that's all he's about.
And how creepy is that to let me touch the unconscious other gay guy in the room?
Exactly.
What?
Now, if it was a girl, it would be very creepy. Like, if he was saying that about a girl, it would be very creepy. But
it's creepy either way. It's just
I'm saying it wouldn't be in a comic book. Like, if that was Storm and he was like, hey, let me help you. Like, and he's like, the way he said it and all, it wouldn't be in the comic book. But because it's Bobby and they want to make him they want to let us all know that Bobby is gay, that they're doing it.
You don't have to just like find all the other gay characters in the X-Men and say, oh, let's throw them all together. That's I mean,
every issue of that's all Iceman's about right now is him finding like literally there's a line. Let me pull up the Frontline review because I quoted the line in the review in my review of it. I quoted the line of it because in the beginning of every single Marvel book they give you what's happening and what happened and what's happening in this issue. They give you that little information thing there. So we get that little scene. That little page, it's the title page for anybody who doesn't know. It's the title page of every single book. They give you like a little blurb, like previously, Iceman went on an adventure and blah 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 blah. And it tells you a little thing about what happened. This one tells you about what happened, and let me get down to that. I might even just pull up the picture and just read it off of the picture of that issue. Okay, let me open this up. Okay, it says previously, Bobby Drake, also known as Iceman, has a lot going on from teaching young mutants at the Xavier Institute to getting into the world of dating. After years in the closet, Bobby is doing his best to have it all, but it's never easy. After stopping a violent hate group attempting to massacre the mutant warlocks, Iceman hit the road with Emma Frost to assist her with mutant family drama in Boston. Meanwhile, the evil Mr. Sinister, who has become obsessed with Iceman's newfound control and versatility of his abilities, has kidnapped a warlock known as Ash, turning him into a mutant fighting monster. And this is the part I quoted in my review. But that would have to wait because Bobby got a match on a dating app.
Wow.
That summarizes what they do to Iceman now in Marvel. Like that summarizes Iceman. Mm-hmm. He's got a dating app. He's got to go. Like Bobby's always been a man-ho, but not to this level. Like even when he was straight, he was always a man-ho. but he
Yeah.
was never to this level. Like he would date a couple girls, but he wouldn't like. It seems like now he's just like girl at the guy at the guy at the guy at the guy, and they're all cliches. Like Bobby talks cliche-ish now. He talks in stereotypes. He doesn't sound like Bobby Drake. He talks in stereotypes.
Yeah, that's why I don't read this book.
This was the big Spider-Man and his amazing friend.
I know, and I love that cover so much. And yeah, that's disappointing. Anyway, that was a nice little tangent.
I'm just sorry, like that. It's just the wrong way to handle it.
I agree.
Even if it was straight. If this was him straight and that was what they're doing, like him just going,
it's still mishandling him.
I would still say the same exact thing about that.
Right.
When that becomes your tagline for their character, but that has to wait because Bobby got a hit on his dating app.
Yeah.
Really? Like really. So serious stuff is going down, but he has to stop that because he got a date.
Yeah, no.
Someone swiped right
terrible.
to him or left.
That's terrible.
Is it left or right when you're picking the person?
I have no idea. I've never used it.
Me either.
I think you swipe right to get rid of them, right? Or I don't know. Somebody tell us in the comments. MT says the Kloss one shot is almost here. That's a nice sidetrack, and I'm happy about that. That's cool. Drew said the end of John's run cemented them as the Clark Lewis of the Green Lantern world for me.
Yeah, I think at the end of the like the end game for them, I think it's that level. But right now they're at the moonlighting stage where they're like, will they, won't they, or the Ross and Rachel stage, depending on your ever. You know, they're at that will they, won't they, make up, break up. That's like their cycle that they're in. You know, they get together, they break up, they get together, they break up. So right now, but at the end of the day, I think they are going towards that level, but they're not there yet. So that's why I don't hold them to that level.
MT says, Brant, you should read The Filth. Ha ha ha. Jay, tell Brant about The Filth. It's the most screwed up book Morrison has wrote. It almost
one of them. it's one of them. Like Morrison does a lot of screwed up books. Like and it's just very Morrison.
Yeah, no interest. Sorry. Tevye says, speaking of the Human Lanterns, where are Simon Baz, John Stewart, and Jessica Cruz and Guy Gardner?
You won't see them. Kyle Rayner will be in Titans. We know that he'll be in Titans, and I know he's in there January. I'm not sure if he's in there December too. I know he'll be in January's issue of Titans because he was on the cover of the solicitations for that one. So
I just saw that Thanatos Comics had joined us. Sorry, I missed that earlier because I was scrolling up to see other comments. This is the first live show of ours he's caught, or they've caught.
Oh, cool!
So awesome. Thank you. I follow Thanatos Comics on Instagram. And I just lost what they said. Are we talking Green Lantern? Awesome. Hey, everyone. First time catching one. Live shows. What? I'm trying to find the most recent content. Despotellis actually infected Mogo, he said, or they said. Thanatos Comics said. The Yellow Lantern Despotellis was the first time a virus type of organism had a ring. Okay, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
MT says, can we all agree that Morrison might be a dimensional alien? Yes.
Yeah.
And Thanatos agrees the potential's there. Yeah. Tibby says, can we turn Iceman back to okay? I'm not going to say that, but
yeah, sure. I don't think that's the right terminology that we meant to say.
No, I don't think so either.
No, because that implies that that's being wrong.
Right.
Back to the original characterization. Maybe you want to say.
MT, I doubt he would actually have went through with it. Morrison has some sanity left.
Oh, I don't think Marvel would have let him do it. I think that's why he didn't get that. Because he pitched it. They said no. So obviously they didn't want him to do that. But that was his pitch because it was in that interview. I forget where it was. It was years ago. they were asking like, what pitches have you given to companies, blah 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 blah. It was after his X-Men run, and he said that was a pitch that he wanted to give for Fantastic Four, because he always saw them as like in this incestuous relationship.
Yeah. Tevia said, I am tired of gay Iceman, and Serenity said, well, gay me is not. So there you go. There's an audience for everybody.
Personally, I don't like the way that they're handling him, and it would be straight or gay. I don't like the way that they're handling him.
Let's see. Drew said Iceman is just a flamboyant gay stereotype now. It's not being inclusive
Very
or
much.
insulting. I'm curious what you think about that, Serenity, that statement. MT trying to get you to tell me about the filth again. Yeah, I think we're caught up on the comments now. So, yeah, that's our thoughts on Green Lantern. You feel free to disagree with us if you do. I'm sure it's going to be brought up again on Frontline Live, and it's probably going to be a long discussion.
Oh, yeah. And Brent and I will probably discuss it a little bit, but we gave our deep, in-depth thoughts here. So.
Yeah. So we'll point you right back to here.
Yeah.
So you can hear our full thoughts on it. So, but yeah, unless there's any other questions or comments about Green Lantern, we'll move on from that.
Yeah. Now we can get into some Titan stuff.
Yeah. MT says
we had Serenity. So have we talked about Titans yet? And we haven't yet. So we're getting ready to.
MT said, by the way, the filth was almost a Nick Fury book. Okay. Interesting.
Morrison has a weird mind. I'm just saying. Dude got a weird mind.
Yeah, definitely.
I would not want to be trapped in Morrison's mind. Like, that would be a scary place to be.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere near the vicinity of his mind, to be quite frank.
I would rather deal with Hickman and the maps all day than Morrison's whatever that is. He's like an acid trip gone bad. Like, very, very bad.
Can't we just keep them both far away from our favorite characters?
Yeah, true. But if I had to choose one, I would rather go Hickman, because at least he goes somewhat in the direction where Morrison's like boom, 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 boom. Like,
that would be
he goes gross. Like Morrison goes gross.
That's true.
Hickman just does deep science. Like he goes into he goes really deep into the science and loses his way in it, where Morrison just goes, let me just shock the hell out of everybody.
Yeah. I would be really torn about which one of those I'd rather. I don't know. They're both terrible.
All right, here you go. Spider-Man.
One of those,
two of those are going up for the job. You have to give it to one of them. Who would you give it to?
Hickman.
Exactly. I rather see it a map diagramming the whole spider totem thing and all that crap than hearing Spider-Man is having sex with the royal spider. Like I don't want to see that. Like I don't want to see spiders crawling in and out his eyeballs, or anything like that.
Real quick, let me interrupt you. MT, if you're still there, we're talking last week's episode 4.
Yeah,
we're not talking episode 5.
No, we're not talking episode 5. What we're going to do for this show, if we talk about it, will always be a week behind. So this way we get more people time to catch up with it. So if you haven't watched episode 4, then this will be big spoilers. But if you watch episode 4, but you haven't seen episode 5 yet, don't worry, we're not going to touch episode 5 yet. Because Grant hasn't watched episode 5 yet.
That's right. I haven't watched it yet.
I'm the only one who's watched it.
Yeah. Chris actually did watch it, by the way, Jay. He was telling me that it was really good, but I hadn't had a chance to watch it yet. Yeah. So,
and we're going to give our scale rating, like where they fall in the line in the episodes. At the end, like 1, 2, 3, 4 episodes, like where they fall into place on our scale of liking them. So this episode is the big Doom Patrol episode. So I think that was also the title of the episode too. Doom Patrol.
I think so. Real quick, I'm just going to read a couple more comments and we'll jump right into the Titans. Serenity said, I love both Morrison and Hickman, but based on what he did with FF Hickman for Spider-Man. See, I hated his FF run personally, but that's just me. And then Tevye said, question, how about being trapped in Bendis' mind? I would much rather be trapped in Bendis' mind than Morrison or Hickman.
Bendis has at least optimism and he has structure. Morrison and Hickman, well, Morrison has no structure and Hickman is overly structured. So I think Bendis is like middle ground. Like who I'd rather be in his mind than either one of those.
Totally. So
my brain probably works a lot like his.
Probably
just saying that.
Yeah. MT hasn't seen any of Titans yet, so he's gonna bow out.
Okay.
So I understand that. So
right.
Yeah, we are gonna spoil this one as well. So I don't know if you want to do a spoiler warning again.
Yeah. Because it's a different segment. For people who come in and they just want to see this. So spoiler warning, we are going to discuss episode 4 of Titans. If you have not seen it, this is your spoiler warning. Like MP, bow out. Maybe you catch us later. If you have seen it, let us know your thoughts in the comments as we're talking about it. We're going to bring up some stuff and let you throw in your little comments too. So
Serenity said for me, and we'll touch on this again later, but Serenity said for me it's 3-1-5-4-2 for Titans. Love 3, 1, and 5 in that order. 2 and 4 were boring. Yeah, we're going to be in complete disagreement.
No surprise here. We're going to disagree with you.
Yeah.
But we'll get right to this episode. So, Brent, you want to give us the rundown of the episode?
Yeah, sure. Okay. All right, so like you said, this episode was called Doom Patrol. Last episode, Raven blew up the convent and was on the run. So we pick up with her running through the forest, and she encounters some hunters and all this stuff. And she encounters Beast Boy in his tiger form, and he takes her back to the mansion where the Doom Patrol is. So we get introduced to all the Doom Patrol characters. You got Robot Man, you got Rita, Negative Man, and the Chief. They're all there, and we get introduced to them one by one. And we learn a little bit about each of the characters, just a little taste. It's kind of a backdoor pilot kind of thing. You get a little taste of where each one of them came from through different ways. Robots, just to see a glimpse of Beast Boys in a flashback. You get Rita where Raven touches her later on, and he does the empathic thing, and you get Negative Man's story as well. So I thought they did a really good job with that. So Raven's not supposed to be there because nobody's supposed to be there or know that they exist and all that stuff. So you got that conflict between Chief and Beast Boy. And then in the meantime, you've got Nightwing, or not Nightwing, Dick and Starfire searching for Raven and, going and questioning the hunters and all this stuff, trying to find them. And climax, they go to the mansion and things happen. So that's your basic rundown of what happened.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that now. The meeting with the tiger, that was interesting. The transformation in the middle of the snow. I like that they started to show it and then kind of faded back. You go because obviously he doesn't have any clothes, to where he gets dressed and stuff.
He gets dressed like that. He just changed really fast. Like,
yeah,
dude,
he does.
Like, dudes like you ever see those magicians where like they pull up the thing and it's like confetti, and then by the time the confetti falls down, the person's in the wedding dress. Like,
yeah,
he's like one of those people. He's like, boom, confetti.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm in my clothes again. Like, does he wear underwear, or does he just like put the jeans on right over? Like,
he must have put
the because I'm sorry, like I put on underwear, I put on socks, I put on my pants, I put on my shirt. Like, does he even have a shirt underneath that jacket? Because he's just always like boom, boom, I'm back. Like, it's like 2 seconds and he's back. Like, at least let the guy really get dressed, and then like you can use it as a timing thing. But it's literally like 2 seconds later he's dressed. I'm like, dude, he got really fast at doing that.
It's well, he's probably had a lot of practice, but it's kind of funny because it makes me think of the Teen Titans cartoon a little bit. Just it would be something that would happen, and they're kind of goofy like that. But yeah,
I think they did do that where his like clothes was there was like the whole episode, or maybe it was Teen Titans Go, where the whole episode where like he's walking around naked and everything's like in front of him, like one of those
I think it was
Power things, like where everything like You know, like, hey, there's a bowl of fruit in front of me. You know, hey, Robin's head's in front of me while I'm watching TV, so you can't see anything. You know, like there's always something like there in front of him, so you can't see anything. I think it was either it was Teen Titans or Teen Titans Go. Probably Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, I do remember seeing that. I don't remember which one it was. As far as the introduction of the Doom Patrol, and I'm not a huge Doom Patrol fan, but I really like this. I like the direction that they took this. I like the slow introductions. First, you're getting Beast Boy and his room, and his room is awesome. I mean, if I'm a teenage boy, that's what I want my room to be.
Yeah, he has a
heck, at my age now, that's what I want my room.
He has a great man cave. He does. Like, probably all came from stolen goods because we saw him stealing video game stuff. But dude got a great room.
Mm-hmm. It was awesome. And I love that, like, she's hiding and they think it's okay and everything. And then Robot Man's like, boo. He's like, gotcha. And you got to get out of here. And, you know, he's all concerned about the chief showing up. And that was the whole thing. They were kind of fostering this idea of, hey, you don't want to upset the chief. And you get that a little bit here and there. But you know the chief has done good. You don't know his motives yet.
Yeah,
and I think
that's something that's come right from the comics, too. Because, like, he does good stuff, but he's got, like, a sinister undertone to him.
Yeah, and I like that. And I like that you just get the tease throughout this episode so that when the Doom Patrol series gets here, you have that to build upon and you can explore that a little further.
Yeah. I also like the family aspect of it. Like, you felt like this was a family. Like, you honestly did feel like the Doom Patrol was a family. The way that Negative Man is cooking dinner for everybody. And, you know, Robot Man is very much like the father figure for everyone.
Yeah.
Rita comes down. She's very much a mother figure for Gar here, you know, because she comes down, even though she doesn't like to do it. She did it because Gar had a special guest, and she wanted to meet Gar's guests. So I really like those elements of it, like that, and even, you know, like when Chief came and he was like, Chief's, I guess, kind of the grumpy old grandpa. Mm-hmm. Like, he's the one that, you know, people are like, oh, grandpa's, you know, grandpa's one of those people that we don't really like to say things in front of, you know, like, you know, he's one of those old grumpy people. So that's kind of like what Chief's role in the family is, but they still all come together to help him because they do all owe him something, you know. If not for him, they will all be dead. They would not be where they are now, but they will also not be dead. I mean, they will also be dead.
Right.
So I like that. I like the dynamic that they created with them because that's something from the comic books again too. They had this great family dynamic because Doom Patrol is a weird family. It's like this is gonna be weird given our last conversation, but it's almost like the Fantastic Four on a trip, like a trippy Fantastic Four.
So like Grant Morrison wrote the Fantastic Four, only without the incest.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's funny. I love the emotional beats in this episode, especially the stuff with Robot Man. I mean, all of them are scarred and they have their different traumas and they're having to cope with the changes that have been made with him. And I love the way that they tie that in later with Beast Boy, how he's normal and he can live a different life than they can. But like with Robot Man especially, you see all these different hints to him dealing with the fact that he's not flesh anymore and he can't experience things anymore. And it's,
taste that chicken for me. Tell me how it tastes.
It's like the waffles have just the right amount of butter and stuff like
crispy, that. You know, are they doughy inside? Like you can see, like he misses like the simple things that you take advantage of. Like, you know, because when you eat a waffle, you're like, I'm eating a waffle. You know, you're not like, you know, is it the right texture? Is that, you know, you have just the right amount of butter. Like, you don't think about that when you eat a waffle anymore. Or like, you know, you don't think about chicken like that. But someone who can't do that, a simple human thing, you know, it's big for him. And you see that impact. And that's why for me, I don't know about you, Brand, but Robot Man was my favorite character.
Oh, yeah.
Patrol. And then followed by Negative Man, because I like his personality, like the fun, you know, cook. Like when he was like dancing when he was cooking, he was like, you know.
Yeah. I like his personality a lot too, and man, dude can cook.
Well, that's because Rita eats a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Her metabolism, she has to eat a whole lot in this.
And like when they're kind of sitting around, kind of sharing the stories of, and once Chief is there and everything, and he says, and now we're all eating dessert, and they shoot the robot man who clanks his fingers on his empty plate, and it's just like they keep going back to that, and then he's like staring at a picture of himself as a race car driver, and just kind of groaning and stuff. And you get that, you get those emotional feels that these are really damaged, really hurt people, but they're thankful to be alive.
Yeah.
At the same time, because, you know, like you said, if it wasn't for Chief, they wouldn't be. But at what expense? And and I love that they're going to explore that later on.
Well, saving their lives worth giving up their humanity.
Exactly.
Like that's like the overall theme of it.
Mm-hmm.
What gets me is the casting of it, because like, why not just use this cast for the Doom Patrol series? Like, I didn't get that. Like, why recast them? Especially because it was announced so soon after they announced Titans, like all these shows just start steamrolling, you know?
Yeah.
So like, why couldn't you just keep it as who they are? Like, I don't understand that. Like, why did they have to recast everyone?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it either. Because I thought the cast was really good.
I really enjoyed this cast.
Yeah.
The girl who played Rita, she played on Drop Dead Diva, and she played on 2.5 Men.
Okay.
2 different types of characters, and here she's a different type of character. So she's a good actress. I like her. She has she's very diverse. And I want to see her play more. I want to see this robot man. Like, I love Brendan Fraser and all that, but will he get me in the heart like this robot man? You know, like this robot man hit me in the heart. You know, he made me feel for him.
Yeah.
I don't know if he could do that.
Well,
I mean,
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see about that, but
yeah,
you know, I don't know. Like, I think they should have kept this cast for me so far. The other cast could come in and blow me away, but right now, I think this cast was it for me.
Yeah, I just hope that they, if they do like an origin story in it, that they have Beast Boy and they have this Beast Boy, you know, do a cameo kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when Raven, when Chief tells Raven he can help her and she's strapped down, and then you got this moment between Beast Boy and Chief, and it's like, do I betray the man that saved my life, that cured me from this virus, and that gave me a new lease on life, to save this girl, because I know, you know, deep down this isn't right, and something's up here, and she's not comfortable, and she doesn't want this, and it's not. You know, and really, none of them really had a choice with what he did to them. He's basically a mad scientist. When it comes down to it. So that was a really interesting, you know, kind of the son stepping out on his own and then becoming his own man kind of thing. And then of course, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Serenity said that Brendan Fraser was the voice of him. I don't know. I don't know, because the casting of him was different, because when they did it, it was supposed to be Bruno Bashir will play the Chief on Titans. And then we had let me see. I know there was what's his name? Something Michaels. Let me see.
Yeah, see, I didn't want to sound stupid because I didn't know they were recasting. So I just played it off like, oh yeah, okay.
Same version. What's his name? Hold on. I'm trying to find, because I'm reading casting for Jake Michaels was supposed to be him. So unless they went back and reshot his voice, like they redid his voice, Jake Michaels was cast as Robot Man. The whole cast was cast differently, because let me see. Let me look up who is the Rita for Doom Patrol series. Let's see. Because I can tell you by her if she's still the same.
I just found an article from October 4th that says the Doom Patrol will be appearing on DC Universe's Titan series, but it seems that one by one parts are being recast for the Doom Patrol spinoff, which is currently shooting in Atlanta. So yeah, you're right. They are recasting the whole thing. That's weird.
April Bowlby is still supposed to be Elastigirl. So that's the girl from Drop Dead Diva and all that. So
yeah,
she's supposed to still be on there. That's according to a lot of these, but yeah.
I think Jake Michaels was the person in the suit, not necessarily doing the one doing
No,
the
he was
voice.
supposed to be. He was supposed to be the voice actor for it. That's what he was supposed to be. I don't know. Maybe they might have went back and redid it and just let him be in the suit and not be that voice actor. But it was supposed to be the voice actor because they were all, and that's definitely not Matt Bomer's voice for what's his name?
Yeah, Negative Man.
Negative Man. Unless they went back and again, they could have went back and redone it.
Yeah,
but because maybe they were like, let's just go back and redo it. But if they did, perfect because then I can fall for it. I can go with it. But yeah, he didn't sound like Brendan Fraser for me. Like I don't know, did he sound like Brendan Fraser?
I thought he did, and I thought that's who was in the photo as a race car driver. It kind of looked like him to me. I mean, I'd have to look at it again.
Maybe they did go back and redo it because it's only voiceover acting, so they could always go back and redo that.
Right. Either way, I just hope it's a good show. If this is any indication of what we're going to get, though, I think it'll be another hit for them. But I really love this episode, honestly. I love the way it came together, all the emotional beats. And honestly, I'm going to differ with you. You want to go ahead and go into the rankings?
Yeah, so far mine was episode 2. I did see episode 5, so I'm going to say 2, 5, 4, 3, 1.
Okay. So for me, I haven't seen episode 5, so mine is 4, 2, 3, 1. I actually like this one better than the second episode.
Which why I like the second episode better is just because I like the character moments with Dick in it. He had very strong character moments in there. So, and that's also why I like episode 5. We get a little bit more character moments from the characters. Not spoiling anything about it, but we get a little bit more character moments in episode 5. So
cool. Yeah, I don't know. I just really love like you said, the family aspect and the emotional beats here. It was a very close. I kept going back and forth. I'm like, do I really like this one better than the Hawk and Dove one? The Hawk and Dove one was amazing. I absolutely loved it. So, again, we're completely disagreeing with you, Serenity. 2 and 4, and for J 5 are our favorite episodes. But
and 5 and 4 are like very, very, very close. Like I only put 5 up because it's the main cast. Like honestly, that's the reason why 5 is so high up over 4. But like I like 4, but it's more of a Doom Patrol backdoor series. So pilot. So that's why I was like, I'll put 5 up there. But they're like literally tied. Like I only went with that 5 because it's the main cast. So
I think it was also because for me, not being a Doom Patrol fan, and I've tried various different incarnations of that book, and I just can't
even the burrito.
Yeah.
Or no, what was it, a burrito, or was it something else? Like a gyro?
Yeah, it was a gyro. Yeah, you're right. Even that, I tried it, and I just couldn't get into it. But the one episode made me care about these characters, and that did something to me, I guess. So, but yeah, really good episode for us. Serenity said, like I said, I know people love 2 and 4, making jokes, the best episodes, and it's not with the main cast, but unlike everyone else, I don't hate the main cast. I don't hate the main cast either. I hate that first episode. I think that first episode was awful.
Yeah. The first episode was a weak pilot. Honestly, it was. But it was a pilot, and pilots normally suck. Like, you look at a lot of pilots, they suck. Yeah. And they're weaker than the rest of the season, weaker than the rest of the series.
Many times they're recast or they're reshot, and different things, and
things look different, things look better. Like it's normally it's essentially what you sell to the networks, and this had a bad pilot, and a lot of shows have bad pilots, honestly. So you can't always go off of a pilot. That's why even when we were talking about the first 3 episodes on Frontline Live, I said, you got to give it a chance because sometimes, it's not like that. So
yeah, but for me, thank goodness episode 2 because I may have given up on it if that wasn't as good as it was for me. Probably not because it's just it's a comic TV show, but Yeah, no, I like the cast. I wanted it to be more cohesive. So thankfully they're building upon that, and it's getting better and better. So hopefully that'll continue. And I can't wait to see the next episode. So
Yeah, I think you would like episode 5 because the cast is better in there.
yeah,
Like you do see you again, no spoilers, but you are seeing the formation of the family in episode 5. Like you
cool.
do see a slight, like you see the inklings of that formation of the family. Not perfect episode. Episode 2 is still better for me, but it shows the formation of their family dynamic that they have.
Gotcha. Nathan Rowan joined us in the chat, and he said, "I'm interested to see what happens when Starfire gets her memory back." Yeah, I'm really interested to see what happens with that as well. I just hope they don't drag it out too long. And it's funny because I was just talking about this in my Nightwing review for Frontline Reviews, how, and not to go into too much detail about that, but how I'm not really a fan of amnesia stories because I think they're overdone and overused. So I'm curious to see how she got amnesia and how they get out of it and what happens from there. So
I think it's a fine line when you're doing an amnesia story because like you can make it too cliche and too overdone, or you can do that exceptional one where you're like, wow, that was really good. Like, you know, so there's like the two different ways that you could do an amnesia story. But a lot of them fall into the whole, you know, cliche tropes that they always do with it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so those are our thoughts. And anybody watching this post live, leave a comment below. Yeah. And if you're listening to this on iTunes, leave us a review on iTunes. Do that because it helps. Yeah. It really does help the show. And you can find this on iTunes and all kinds of places. So look up your favorite podcast app and you'll find it starting next Friday because that's when this one will go up on iTunes. But I think that's going to wrap up our show. So we'll talk about what's coming out and going on. And Jay, we'll start with you.
Okay, so today is
Friday.
Saturday. See, it's almost normally on Friday, so
yeah.
All right, so
what's up, Alan?
So tomorrow will be Talking Trek with Jesse and Justin. That would be 10 o'clock tomorrow night. We're going to be talking about the short track Calypso and some of the news that came out of Star Trek. So we're going to be talking about that because, like, right now there's a lot of news coming out of Star Trek Discovery and other Star Trek stuff. So we're going to be talking about that news. Let's see. Tuesday night is Frontline Live. Please join us. We're going to have an abbreviated version of. I don't think we'll talk about any news. We might. I don't know. It depends on what big news comes out. But we're going to just really get to the top 5. So anybody who wants top 5 right away, we're going to get right away to top 5. So join us tomorrow night. I mean, not tomorrow night. Tuesday night. I'm sorry. Tuesday night at 10 o'clock. Whoa.
You can join us tomorrow night, but we won't be there.
Yeah, well, you can join me tomorrow night because I'll be on something track. But Frontline Live would be Tuesday night, and that would be episode 226. Let's see. Wednesday would be another Command Center where I'll be reviewing Go-Go Power Rangers number 14. So that would be on Wednesday night at 10 o'clock p.m. This month's comic book club selection is Batman Dark Victory. So we're following up on last month's, and the date will be announced on Tuesday when that show will be on. Let's see. Check out Frontline Reviews. They went up to date. It was a day late to get more reviews up. So we put up a day late today. We got a lot of reviews up there. I think there was like 10 or 11 or something like that.
Nice.
So there was a good amount of reviews up on there. So go check that out. We do hit some independent companies. We hit the big 2 also. Vote for the top 5 panels every week over on Discord, which you can find a link. It's a free service. You don't have to do anything but sign up. It's a free thing. Frontline Frontline Discord. We have the Frontline Discord Awards where you guys are nominating and then go and vote, and your winners are going to be it. So we always get people who disagree with our selections for Frontline Awards. So why don't you let us know what you would have picked by nominating and voting over on the Frontline Discord. So the first three, what is it, 10, 20, the first 30 categories are already up. So go. I know I put deadlines on all of them, but if you're watching this now, you can nominate in any of the 30 categories that are out there. Just go nominate. That's it for me, I think, until next week. So that's a lot, but and like Brant said earlier, we are starting the topic time stuff. That would be coming up on Tuesday. So there are short videos that we're doing, and you'll find out more about that on Tuesday. And join us tomorrow night. Join me tomorrow night for Frontline, for Talking Trek, and then join all of us on Tuesday for Frontline Live.
And Mike Spider Slayer will be the first one to do topic time, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, and then we'll be doing it daily after that, so or at least during the weekdays. So check that out. We're all going to participate as often as we can. And let's see, for me, my channel, Brant Fowler, Monday Musings every Monday. Trying to think of some other content eventually to put up there, but right now it's that. We are going to do an Alamo City Comic-Con haul soon on my channel, so look for that. It'll probably go up this week. My weekly comic rankings on Tuesdays right here on Frontline. Tune in for that as I rate my top 15 books. And I think my topic time is Thursday. So if you want to see what I think about something, tune in for that.
Mine will be Wednesdays.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. So Wednesday will be mine.
Yeah, that's right. I was getting confused. Man, I'm blanking. Zone 4 Aftermath on patreon.com/Brant Fowler if you want to check that out as we talk about some cool stuff there. This week, I think I don't know what we're doing, actually. we're talking about some indie books. We're doing some random discussion and stuff like that. But we do have some really cool stuff coming up, like Jay talked about at the beginning of the show. And, of course, every Friday night, usually, right here on Frontline for Zone 4. And on iTunes, the audio version the following Friday for that.
I do have one more thing.
Okay.
For,
I think that's it for me.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Thursday, Media Madness is She-Ra. We're talking about She-Ra, Princess of Power. So that'll be 10 o'clock. If you want to hear our thoughts on that, tune in to Thursday. We're discussing the whole season. So
I know what else I was going to talk about. It's NaNoWriMo. I'm doing NaNoWriMo this year. I'm up to almost 7,000 words of my novel now. And thank you. Thank you very much.
Cool.
I'm actually going to write a little bit as soon as we get done here. Try to get some in before midnight.
Yes.
I am sharing some of that. I shared like the very beginning of it in last week's Last Summer Press newsletter. Subscribe to that. Check it out. If you're a patron, I share that with my patrons as well. And I'm sharing an excerpt of that tonight on Patreon that I did not share in the newsletter. So I've also got the Little Ember, the Tell of the Smiling Jack-O-Lantern story that I'm putting up on Patreon. The first chapter is completely free. If you go check out my Patreon, search for that post. You can read the first chapter of that completely free. I'm a little bit behind on it because I've had some stuff going on this week that's kind of taken me away from the computer. But hopefully I'll get back to that. But I think that's it. Frontline reviews that went up yesterday, I reviewed Nightwing and WWE. So check those out. That's it. All right. So that's it for Zone 4 after all that rambling that I just did. So it's time to – I know. So time to read this out. That's my turn this week.
Yes.
So we'd like to thank the official bands of Zone 4, the Raywall Band and Society's Plague, as long as they keep having us and putting up with our nonsense that you hear on the show each and every episode. We are also proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. You can find us right here on Comic Frontline every Friday, or, occasionally on another day. And also on comicspodcast.com, Stitcher, iTunes, and of course, zone4podcast.com. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions for us, send those to zone4podcast@gmail.com. And join us in the live chat if you're listening to the audio version of us. Join us on Fridays on Frontline to chat with us live, and we'll interact with you. And as always, thanks for listening. You are now leaving Zone 4. Bye, everybody.